In this video, I will share with you how I did a qualitative case study to analyze knowledge sharing in 3 online environments. This qualitative case study was conducted when I was in the USA doing my PhD dissertation. I conducted this study over a period of about 1 year. The main purpose of my qualitative case study was to examine how knowledge sharing occurs in online environments. I focus on 3 online communities. 1, the Advanced Nursing Practice Community, the University Web Development Community, and finally, the English Education Community. For each community, I analyze the individual member of the community. That means the top knowledge sharer that I found in each community. Here are my research questions. I analyze the types of knowledge that people share with one another. Second, I try to understand what motivates people to help other people by sharing their knowledge. And finally, I was also interested to find out what stops people from sharing knowledge. I used a qualitative case study because I wanted to obtain rich and naturalistic data. In this study, I did not use any intervention, no control group was used, no experiment group was used. I also did not study any relationship between any variables. Therefore, I was interested in using case study because I wanted to find out what motivates people to help one another and also what stops people from helping each other in an online community. I was also interested to find out what kind of knowledge do people share with one another. This slide tells you more information about the 3 online communities which I studied. APN-1 is the Advanced Nursing Practice. WD-1 is the Web Development in Universities or Colleges Communities. And LE-1 is the English Communication Community. All these communities are found online. And as you can see from this table, the size of the community as of February 2006 was 1,310 for the nurse community, 2,196 for the web development community, and 1,242 for the English education community. How did I collect the data to answer all the research questions? I primarily relied on 2 types of resources: online observations as well as interviews. I observed the message posted by the people in each community over a period of about 1 year. And for each community, I selected 27 people who share their knowledge very frequently. 27 people from each community. That means all in all, I will have 81 people to do the interviews. To analyze the data, I used 2 main approaches. I used the content analysis approach to examine the message posted in the community. And also to analyze the interview data, I used the constant comparative approach. I will describe more about these 2 approaches in other weeks. Here I will share with you the results that I found. First, what types of knowledge are shared by the people in these 3 communities? I found book knowledge, such as this. The reference is the New England Journal of Medicine. So such knowledge is found in books, in journals, or in websites. I also found people sharing personal opinion type of knowledge. For example, I believe that we should always assess for discomfort in every patient at every encounter. This is a person's personal opinion, personal viewpoint. Another type of knowledge that I found was people's personal suggestion. That means every time I teach a topic, I try to include as many as much non-fiction material as well as fiction. This is to suggest a possible idea, to suggest a possible suggestion to a problem. And finally, the last type of knowledge that I found was institutional practice. This knowledge tells us what type of practices, what type of policy an organization uses. For example, our school system uses the idea of power outlines to teach note-taking. So this is different from the personal suggestion because in institutional practice, the knowledge that is shared has to do with the policy that is set by a certain organization. Whereas personal suggestion, the knowledge that is shared is not actually set by the organization, but actually set by the own personal individual. This graph tells you the type of knowledge shared in each community. As you can see, the nurse practice community shared the most on institutional practice. For the web development community, most of the knowledge are personal opinion. Whereas the English education community, most of the knowledge shared is also personal opinion. Second, what are the motivators for people to share knowledge? What makes people want to help other people in an online community? Okay, this graph tells you different types of motivators. As you can see, the highest motivator is reciprocity. Reciprocity means mutual obligation. For example, I help you because you have helped me in the past. Many community members shared the knowledge because they felt they ought to do something back for the community because somebody else has helped them before. The second most common type of motivator was collectivism. This means having a sense of identity or the sense of belonging to a certain community. So for example, the nurses share their knowledge even though they don't know the other people because they feel a sense of belonging to the nursing community, to the nursing profession. This is what it means by collectivism. Other types of motivators include personal gain, such as gaining more reputation in the community, respect, finding that the community is a respectful environment helps people to share their knowledge, altruism, a sense of wanting to help other people without expecting anything back in return. Technology, they found that the technology was very easy to use. And finally, the seeker's interest. Some people wanted to share their knowledge because they found that the other person are very interested to learn. I will talk about the barriers of knowledge sharing now. What kind of barriers stop people from sharing knowledge in an online community? My qualitative case study research found the following barriers. The most frequent barrier is lack of time. People not having enough time to share knowledge because most of them are working full-time and they hardly have any time out of their full-time job to go to the website, to go to the online community to share knowledge. The second most frequent barrier of sharing knowledge is unfamiliarity with subject. They do not have the knowledge about a subject. Technology can also hinder people from sharing knowledge, particularly if the technology is hard to use or very hard to navigate. Other types of barrier include no additional knowledge, attitude of other people towards the information, confidentiality issues, a perception that the seeker, the person who is asking question, is unable to use the knowledge. And finally, there's one person who say do not want to share the knowledge because she doesn't want to get into the fight about a certain argument. That's all for my case study which I conducted during my PhD dissertation. Thank you.